Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're going on just an incredible journey to a place where the mountains are literally draped in clouds, and time just seems to stand completely still. We're unpacking the fascinating world of Tawang, which is tucked way up in the high altitudes of Arunachal Pradesh. This isn't just a location on a map. It's this profound intersection of history, intense solitude, and really deep, vibrant spirituality. We're going to explore stories of ancient bridges, massive monasteries, and individuals living totally off the grid. So let's look at what makes Tawang so captivating.
Now, to truly understand Tawang today, we actually have to look at its past. Back in 1962, this region survived a really difficult historical milestone, the Indo-China War. This was a time when the echoes of gunfire completely shattered the mountain quiet. It's an undeniable part of their history. But today, that gunfire has been entirely replaced by the peaceful hum of Buddhist mantras. It is a place completely transformed. A deep, spiritual peace has thoroughly reclaimed these valleys, and it's a powerful testament to resilience, setting the stage for the deeply spiritual culture that thrives there right now.
Section 1. Beginning of monk life. Let's move to and see how this builds from a macro landscape of history right down into the deeply personal, individual lives of devotion.
To really grasp the spiritual heartbeat of Tawang, we have to understand the people who dedicate their entire lives to it. Just imagine being 9 years old on your very first visit to a massive monastery, completely unaware that this giant, unfamiliar place is about to become your whole world. Sent there by the wishes of his parents, the initial transition for this young boy was, it was tough. The homesickness was very real, as you'd expect. Everything was new and overwhelming. But over time, through years of studying and learning prayers, a beautiful shift happened. That strange, intimidating place eventually transformed into his place of study, prayer, and his true home. It's a lifetime of dedication that literally begins before childhood even ends.
Section 2. Brukba, Mountain Solitude. Stepping away from the communal life of the monasteries, we discover a completely different reality in these mountains.
And this brilliantly illustrates the intense physical effort required just to reach a man named Nekibaya's secluded, roadless world. You can't just drive up to his front door, no way. First, you have to drive 15 to 20 kilometers down and away from the main town of Tawang. Then, the road just ends. You've got to trek on foot for 15 to 20 minutes, navigate your way across a flowing river, and finally climb up to reach his tiny hut perched on a hilltop. This step-by-step journey really highlights the deliberate physical barrier between the Brokba way of life and modern civilization.
And what do you find when you finally reach the top? A reality of absolute solitude. Nekibaya lives in a bamboo and tin hut that is 20 years old, which, incredibly, he built with his own 2 hands in just 3 days. He lives up there entirely alone, surrounded only by his yaks and cows, grazing them in the mountain pastures. His human contact is incredibly minimal. He only makes the journey down to the village below to see his own family once every 5 or 6 months. It's an almost unimaginably quiet life. Actually, there's a poignant detail from the source material. When asked directly if he was truly happy with this deep, isolated solitude, he just smiled slightly and gently shook his head no. It's a really profound look into the complex reality of isolation.
To really drive that isolation home, think about this. His only companion is a solar-powered radio for songs and news, but during the monsoon, even that falls silent. I want you to pause and think about your own daily life for a second. Think about your reliance on social interaction, your smartphone, the constant stream of notifications. For Nekibaya, a simple radio is his only tether to the outside world. And when the monsoon clouds roll in and block the sun for days on end, his solar panels can't charge. That single tether is completely severed, leaving him in total silence. It's a staggering contrast to how most of us live today.
Section 3. Ancient Choksam Bridge. Coming back down from that complete mountain isolation, we find an ancient, historical community connection.
600. That is how many years ago the incredible Choksam Bridge was constructed over the Tawang River. Let that sink in for a second. 6 centuries ago, people were crossing this exact spot. And the way it was built is fascinating. It relies on an ancient iron interlocking system combined with bamboo. It's this antique, enduring piece of history that locals still actively use to cross the river today.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how this ancient heritage is facing a modern clash. The number 25 represents how many of these antique, historic iron pieces were actually stolen from the bridge recently. Because this ancient iron is so valuable and exposed, the government had to step in.
To protect the integrity of this centuries-old structure, they are now installing new transparent security shutters. It's a necessary, if unfortunate, modern intervention to preserve a piece of 600-year-old history.
But the bridge is way more than just infrastructure. It's a focal point of local faith, especially during Sakadawa, which is a highly sacred month in the Buddhist calendar. The core belief during this time is a sort of spiritual multiplier effect. Locals believe that any actions you take, whether they are sins or merits, are mathematically doubled. Because of this, the entire community becomes deeply mindful. They give up eating meat completely for the whole month, and they gather at the Chuksum Bridge to plant colorful Buddhist flags, dedicating their prayers not just for themselves, but for the absolute peace of all living beings on earth. It's a beautiful expression of collective spirituality.
Section 4. Female Monks of Anigompa. As you traverse this region, you quickly realize that Tawang is full of surprises around every single corner. Anigompa is incredibly special because it is a monastery run entirely and exclusively by female monks or nuns. Ani actually translates to nun. It's not just a place of worship. It operates as a dedicated, safe, and self-sustained home for the women who control it. It holds a very specific sacred space in the region. Women travel from miles around, some out of pure, unwavering devotion, and others specifically holding on to the belief that praying at Anigompa will bless them with children. It's a powerful, female-centered spiritual sanctuary right there in the high mountains.
Section 5. Massive Tawang Monastery. Building up to the grandest landmark of them all, this is quite literally the cultural identity of all of Arunachal Pradesh.
So the crucial point is understanding the sheer, breathtaking scale of the main Tawang Monastery. I mean, it doesn't even feel like a single building. It looks and operates like a small, self-contained city. It currently houses between 400 and 500 monks and students who live, study, and pray there daily. What makes it a brilliant piece of planning is its layout. It's this vibrant maze of interconnected streets and stairs linking hostels to prayer rooms, making it surprisingly easy to navigate despite its massive size. And all those winding paths eventually lead to the main hall, which features an absolutely giant, awe-inspiring statue of Buddha. It is a vibrant, bustling hub of daily life and deep devotion.
We've explored some incredible contrasts in this explainer today. We've seen the massive, bustling spiritual city of the Tawang Monastery, and we've witnessed the extreme, silent isolation of Nikibaya in his mountaintop hut. It really puts our own lifestyles into perspective, doesn't it? So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. After seeing the profound simplicity and deeply rooted spirituality of this region, would you trade the modern comforts of the city for the solitary peace of the mountains? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and keep exploring.